This meeting is called to order. Neil, would you please lead the pledge? Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business is to approve minutes, starting with the October 15, 2013 work session minutes.
I move that the minutes be approved as written.
Second.
Moved by Bill, seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Next, we have the October 15, 2013 regular select board minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
It's been moved by Dick, seconded by Mike. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Announcements. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. Regular meetings at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, November 12, 2013, and Monday, November 25, 2013. Work review sessions prior to the regular meeting will start at 5 p.m. Town offices will be closed on Monday, November 11, 2013, in observance of Veterans Day. There will be a Veterans Day ceremony in front of the Town Hall at 10:30 on the 11th, and all are invited to attend. All Select Board meetings will be held in the Town Hall unless otherwise posted. Weather observations for the month of September are available in the Town Hall, and citizens wishing to be listed on the Select Board agenda should notify the Town Hall before 12 p.m. on the Friday before the scheduled meeting. Okay. Moving on, first under appointments, we have Peter Martin, appointment to the Plymouth Energy Commission. And we have Peter's letter to the Select Board stating, I would like to serve on the Plymouth Energy Commission. I started and ran a business a number of years ago to sell methane to energy/organic fertilizer installations to cities, and commercial slaughter rendering companies and other producers of organic wastes. I have also been actively involved in the state legislative process as it pertains to high-voltage power lines and the issues pertinent to the production of electrical energy. Although I have no formal training, I have studied and worked on energy issues for many years and feel that I could make a worthwhile contribution to the town's efforts towards energy efficiency and possible local solutions to our energy needs. Sincerely, Peter Martin. Any discussion? Yes.
Madam Chair, I think you can vote to approve this individual tonight, but I think it should be conditional. I think we're going forward, and we've talked to our commissions that when they have something that they want to be on either the Conservation Commission or the Energy Commission, we just have some kind of documentation from them saying that they actually want an individual. So anybody can actually send us in a letter and say that they want to be on one of the commissions or any committee that we have.
Right.
And we have no way of knowing that we have the commission's approval. We don't want to vote and then hand-tie them.
Right.
And also being part of the decision process.
That makes sense.
Can we do it? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, the Energy Commission is aware of the fact that Peter applied for this and is in favor of his appointment, and I know that because I've seen email correspondence, and that's a good point, but I think they are aware of it.
They have those facts.
Yep.
Okay.
So then it's fine.
And I would also, I've known Peter Martin for quite a while and seen what he's done.
No, we all know, and if it was anybody else, but we do get names sometimes that we don't even know who they are. It's happened to this board.
Yeah, I'd moved beyond that. I was just addressing the substance of his request and saying that I think he would be a good member for the Energy Committee. And I think the Energy Commission, I think that the members of the Commission are looking forward to him being part of it, too.
Good. All right. So,
And I would make a motion to appoint Peter to the Plymouth Energy Commission.
Second.
been moved by Mike, seconded by Bill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That is
Aye.
approved.
Did I get a little ahead of the game with the discussion? I discussed before you asked for
You did,
discussion.
that's okay. Any
not for
further
Robert's
discussion,
rules.
I should have said. So there is that appointment. Okay, moving on to chairman's comments. I would like to just remark that last Saturday was National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, and I attended a ribbon cutting at Plymouth Police Department for their prescription drug take-back box. Also there were Senator Jeannie Forrester, Deb Narrow from Katy, and Police Chief Steve Lefebvre, as well as a number of Plymouth's youth. This box is in the lobby of the police department. It's not just there for Drug Take-Back Day, but it is there 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It is locked up, tight as can be. Prescriptions don't have to be in labeled bottles, and individuals who are bringing their prescriptions, unused prescriptions in, don't have to identify themselves. If you have unused prescriptions in your home, please bring them to the PD. If you can't get to the PD, please give them a call. An officer will come to get your drugs and dispose of them for you. And, you know, why is this important? People should know that 1 in 5 young adults report that they have abused a prescription drug, often taken from the family medicine cabinet. They often believe that such drugs are safe because they were prescribed by doctors. The fact is that more Americans die from prescription drug abuse than from cocaine, hallucinogens, inhalants, and heroin combined. Here in Plymouth, the theft of prescription drugs from homes has become more and more common. And drugs disposed of at the PD will ultimately be destroyed in a way that will keep them out of the hands of our youth and also keep them out of our water supply, which is another problem with people flushing drugs in the toilet. It's not good for our water supply. So please get on board with this. It's there and it's available and it's a great thing. I'd also just like to comment that we do have this week coming up Halloween, and on Tuesday, the PSU trick-or-treating for 5th grade and under is, if they're in costume and accompanied by an adult, you can go to the PSU website under Campus Life and Residential Life, and then click on trick-or-treating, and there's information there. Also this week, the Halloween Festival downtown for all ages on October 31st from 4:30 to 5:30. There will be music and a fun house at the Pemmy Youth Center and trick-or-treating at Main Street businesses. PSU is going to be doing some special events on the front lawn of the Silver Center. And after the downtown festival, trick-or-treating in the neighborhoods will go from 5:30 to 7:30 on Halloween night. Okay, next we have under new purchase orders, Catherine Lowe, balance of contract for roof repair and replacement. Kate?
This is just the second half payment for the replacement of the roof that has already been done by subcontractors. The total was $19,700, and we had paid half of it up front, so this is just the balance that we're looking for them.
Okay, and the balance on this is $9,850. So have I a motion concerning that?
I move that we pay the remainder of the contract price of $9,850.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Bill, seconded by Mike. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is approved. Next, we have committee reports. Neil?
Planning Board, see, did we meet last week? I think it's been 2 weeks since we met.
Okay.
Can't tell you. I'm sorry.
Nothing of significance to report.
We did approve it's coming back. We approved an application by Dennis Prescott to construct a new, it's a conditional approval, to construct a new building at his development on Tenny Mountain Highway. It's going to be occupied by the wholesale furniture outlet that is currently in the current building.
Okay.
They're doing quite well, and they've outgrown their building, and they're using storage units to try to keep up with their inventory. So they have a few details to work out with the town, and they're going to start construction as soon as they do that.
Very good. Dick?
Nothing new to report.
Okay. Mike?
I had a couple things I wanted to mention. One is about Deb Narrow, again, who's been mentioned here once before, but the Genesis Behavioral Health held its annual meeting last week, and they gave Deb Narrow its Pete Harris Community Service Award, and I thought that was worth noting here. Another thing is the Chamber of Commerce Business After Hours is going to be tomorrow night at the Enterprise Center, which is an opportunity to meet the people that have moved in there, and also maybe to sample some of the Burrito Me food, which I guess is going to be there because they're really sponsoring the event. And the other thing is, I noticed that the Plymouth Energy Commission is still looking for another, I'm not sure, a member or two, so if anybody has an interest in that, follow Paul's advice and go to the Plymouth Energy Commission and talk to them, and if you're interested and they are interested in having you, then send a letter to the town, and we'll do what we did with Pete Martin tonight. That's all I have.
Nothing committee-wise, but should I mention the Moss Hart Award?
Sure.
Okay. On Saturday evening, actually, Valerie Scarborough and I and Trish Lindbergh and Will Ogdenson attended the New England Theater Conference annual awards dinner. And we were there because Marking the Moment won the Moss Hart Memorial Award. And just, can I read a little passage? But the Moss Hart Award is to recognize and encourage outstanding theatrical productions throughout New England of play scripts that present affirmative views of human courage and dignity, that have a strong literary and artistic merit, and which in their productions exemplify fresh, imaginative, creative treatment within the intent of the playwright. And it's a lovely award. I ended up transporting it back from Natick in one piece, and and I just brought it today to the PR office at PSU for some pictures for tomorrow.
And my understanding is that there is a good likelihood that it is going to be on display at some point in time for everyone to see in the window of Rand's Hardware. So when you're on Main Street, check it out, because it is very impressive, and it was a very exciting event.
Yep.
So, thank you. And I had nothing. Moving along, is there any public comment tonight?
Would like Bill and I to sing a few numbers from
There's three of
Let's
you
do it,
here.
Tim, come on.
It's okay. Yes, Mike?
Well, a couple of things. We have some Plymouth Regional High School students that are here to observe town meeting process, and they will all need a signature from one of you at some point in time. They're here to stay for about a half an hour, 6:30 or so, or whenever the meeting is out before then, whatever. You want to hear about the skate park?
Yeah.
Sure.
Up, or?
Please do.
Okay, because there's a lot going on. We've actually made some great inroads. We have a lot of things going on right now. We have a GoFundMe account using the social networking piece that we've set a goal of $10,000 so that we can add that concrete to the park and expand on it. We've thus far received $1,391 as of about 15-20 minutes ago. And so we've really been pushing this for maybe the last 3 or 4 weeks. So it's off and running, and there are members here that have donated to it, and that's pretty good. We did a fundraiser at White Mountain Country Club golf tournament yesterday and raised $1,400. had a successful skate jam that raised another $800. But the biggest things is we've now gotten a core group of high school students, or about 7 of them, who came forth when I asked if they'd like to work with our board, and they've become kind of our high school steering committee towards what they think is important to have there, but also to help with the cleanup, with the what type of park they want to have down there, as well as doing some fundraising, taking some ownership in that. And that's been huge. It's really been huge. A lot more activity on our Facebook page. And the other piece is we've added a gentleman from the board club at PSU. It's a snowboard, skateboard club, and his name is Nick Doucette. He's the treasurer, and he's come on board. They donated a half pipe that was made of wood, refinished it, spent about $400 or $500, put that together before our skate jam. And since it's been in there, it's probably tripled the activity that we have at the skate park. So all those things coming together. We're in the process now in kind of the off season to do some small fundraisers, selling, raffling off snowboards, etc., but going after a number of grants. And so we'll be revisiting some people we've already talked to that have donated, and we've got some new grants that we're looking to write as well. So the game plan really is to get more kids down there, but in the spring we will be adding on to the skate park. I mean, we've got to come before the board for the next phase. But the deal will be to put more skatable area in there that's concrete. Right now we have about $4,000 that's set aside for concrete alone. And we're hoping to raise more money through this GoFundMe account. So theoretically, if everything works the way it's supposed to, we could have $12,000, $15,000, which would add a significant change to the skate park. And I think as we go forward, adding to the park, people see the potential and the reality. And I think we get more and more energy going towards that. But it's going to be, the skate park is actually turning into a park in itself, because I don't know if you've noticed the graffiti park down there. Next in May, we're going to do a skate jam with a graffiti battle at the same time, having 15 to 17 contestants who will go down there and show their talents. And it's a pretty amazing thing. If you go on YouTube and look at the Golden Gate Park, they do that every year out there, and they get contestants who pay a registration fee, and they're given an 8x8 canvas in Golden Gate Park, kind of a nice backdrop there with the Golden Gate Bridge and all. And they're given 5 paints. It's all the same color. Each one starts with the same color number of paints. Then they're also given a word, and the one that I watched, I think peace was the word, and they bring that into a creative painting in whatever it turns out to be. And then there's a first, second, and third prize. What we plan to do on our concrete stanchions that used to hold fuel tanks is that we'll have probably 15 to 17 contestants, and then the top 3 will have like a paint-off in the afternoon. And we hope to do that at the same time as the skate jam. So we should have a pretty good turnout in early May for that. But again, I think getting more entities down there. We're looking at the BMX pump track. I've got kids that have started a GoFundMe account for that at the high school. And that's a pretty inexpensive proposition. We need $5,000 for fencing because of the insurance that we pay each year. But as far as the earthwork, we've got the Rhino bike folks with their expertise. We have our own equipment. We have materials that we can get, and it's a really inexpensive way to put in something that will get a lot of use from the BMX bikers. So right now, the ultimate goal, we're trying to create more of a park atmosphere that will be good for the town and the surrounding area. So it's not just going to be a skate park, but it'll have other interests and entities. We've got a couple other ideas we kicked around with the remote control gas-powered race cars, where you don't need a lot of room, but a 55 by 75 foot area. You can put something like that in, or putting in a playground for younger kids, so that when a parent has a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old, she can play with a 3-year-old in the playground and let the 10-year-old go in the skate park. So that's kind of the vision is opened up a little bit, and we're focused strongly financially on the concrete, because that's where the expense is. And this other stuff, there are things that we can do along the way that really require a donation of some time, maybe some materials, but not a lot of money. But we can still move forward and make this look nicer. I think if you've been down there, we've had a lot of the landscaping work to keep it looking very nice has been done by Vince Donnelly of Six Burner Bistro, and he's donated his time to mow and trim inside the park, and it looks pretty nice right now. We also purchased a couple of truckloads of cedar chips, and that cedar, it's a little different than the regular wood chips, because it kind of covers better, and it's kind of orange. It looks nice, but we've redone all of that, and it's still a permaculture park where the trees are growing now, the Asian pear trees, as well as the some apple trees and some bushes for strawberry and blueberry. So, you know, it's coming together. I think a lot of the stuff that we see now will come to fruition over the next year or two, and I think it'll become more and more attractive. So, but we're moving forward, and we're always looking for money and help and support and ways to make money. So we got a lot of ideas coming up. We have some things, St. Patty's Day get together in March, and we will have the big thing in May, and so that's where we're at right now. It's going really well, though. I'm feeling really encouraged. I'm starting to see some light.
Yeah.
You've done a fabulous job, you
We've
really
been at
have.
that a long time, Mike.
But it's well, we're going to really into our 5th year now of trying to make this happen. And I will go back to the CDFA to find some funding. We did not get the funding from the CDFA this past year, though I heard it was very well liked as a project. It went in highly recommended, and they just felt that we could find money elsewhere, which I'm not sure where that is, but we're trying to find more. And as we knock the numbers down a little bit, we'll go back and ask them next year as well. So hopefully we'll be able to get money from them to finish things off. But
Excellent. Thank you.
I just think it'll be a nice addition to the town. It's going to, I mean, it's not costing the town a dime, which I really like. You know, we're not talking taxpayers' money. We're not talking any of that stuff. And we pay $10,000 a year in insurance to maintain the park. So in the last 4 years, we put $40,000 towards not concrete. So if you think about that, that would make a huge difference if we had that kind of money to actually put in the concrete. But anyway, so thanks for letting me have the mic here to explain what we're doing, with how it's going.
Any
So,
questions?
Didn't you mention that it's going to be like the largest concrete skate park in the Northeast or something like that? Or?
Well, people have told me it will be probably the nicest. There was one in Nashua, I believe, which they've kind of dismantled because they had different issues down there. But we haven't had the vandalism. We haven't had those sort of things. The police force in town has been very good about doubling up on trips through. And I mean, board members, Rich Gowan, myself, Bill Clark, Kevin Young, all of us are down there off and on. We can hear them skateboarding from outside when I'm doing my yard work, and I'm always stopping down there. So we're seeing a lot of good behavior from a lot of good kids, and I think that there's a misconception of skateboarders, you know, that maybe people have seen on TV or whatever. But these are great kids, and if you go down and observe the behavior during the skate jams, it's the big guys helping the little guys, picking them up, showing them how to do things. And it's like I turned to a reporter and said, you know, we try to teach this stuff in schools about, you know, being polite, taking turns, you know. And if you watch these kids, that's what they do. There's kind of there are rules. And you may have 15, 20 kids up on that half pipe, but one kid goes, and when he fouls up, he's off, and the next guy goes, and it just rotates like that. And nobody's jumping in, nobody's arguing. I was kind of shocked when I recognized that, hey, wait a minute, they're doing stuff we're trying to teach them to do, and they're doing it because they're coming to something that they all enjoy and respect, and they just get along. So I see it nothing as a positive, and I've really not had anybody tell me that they think it's a bad idea or whatever. Some people don't like the location, but I think if we look at the town and what our master plan looks for, I think that it helps kind of fill out the town a little bit, and hopefully eventually there'll be traffic going through that way more, and I just think it'll be a nice way to round out the town, and I think from the south end it's kind of a nice introduction to see a nice park there where kids can come in and, you know.
No, it looks really good.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for your efforts.
Okay, well, thank you all, because you've all been very supportive to it at fundraisers and whatnot, and you know, I appreciate that. We'll be back.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. All right. Any other public comment? Yes.
Could I take advantage of having a short night and just come before you as a citizen? The help program. A little over 4 years ago, we're starting our 50th year now. I established the help program. The acronym at that time began as helping elderly live properly. That's when the recession was starting to come in, and we were expecting a cold winter at that time. And since then, it's evolved into helping everyone live properly. We don't discriminate between any particular age group. We try to help as many people as we can. It's consisted of all volunteers and a lot of contractors that donate their time and their skills. And it's at that time that I just need to put it back out there that we need those kind of skills again. Carpenters that can just put in the door frame, an electrician that just could wire a couple of plugs, especially roofers, a lot of leaks, maybe some insulation. And what that allows people to do is to use that money that would normally go for those type of repairs, like the mechanic that could fix a car, and put it towards the fuel. Because, well, one thing that the help organization doesn't take in, we don't accept any money. We're not looking for money. We don't want to have to fill out all the forms that require us to be a nonprofit and go through all that hassle. We just want to be citizens of the town, and the surrounding communities are also participating as contractors, just helping everybody get through the winter times. It's the biggest time of the year. We're going to come before you anyway in a couple of weeks. And you can do anything from rake somebody's leaves to shovel this driveway, and especially the end of sidewalks and driveways after the plow goes through. A lot of times we can help those individuals pay for the initial plowing of their driveway and their sidewalk. We all know what it's like after you're just finishing up one of our plows coming through and you're blocked in again. And I do try to go around with a red truck, and we get a lot of those, and our highway really does a good job at helping now that we came before the board a few years ago. But if somebody could just reshovel somebody out, just the end of their driveways, they don't have the money to pay a second time an hour later. And if you're somebody with a plow that could just take on 2 extra driveways at no cost to yourself, whatever you believe in, whatever law of physics you feel that's out there, I think that every businessman that participates in the program is more than rewarded, and tenfold. And I think we've accomplished a lot with anonymity. We don't put anybody's, you're not going to be known if you come to us asking for help, who you are and what we do for you. We keep it strictly anonymous. The volunteers are anonymous. That would be between you and whoever shows up at your house or property to help you. We could use some cordwood. If people have some cordwood out there, we will take fuel substitutes, extra bags of pellets, or stuff like that. But if you want to give us money, we will find something that you could give the money to keep the heat program. We'll just direct you in that area.
Who is the contact person for this?
I am.
Okay.
The board has been gracious enough, and that's what I'm asking tonight, to be able to continue to use the town hall's telephone number during the daytime to get in touch with me. And the advantage that I have is in my real job, being in contact with all the other entities within the town that do help these same groups of individuals. And it's helped not be so taxing on our welfare department, on the place like the Bridge House, to keep the heat on. There's other ways that we can help them before you have to do.
So if someone wants to volunteer, they call you?
Yes.
And then if someone wants to volunteer and you have something for that person to do you call them?
Right. Or volunteers. And we have a lot of employees that volunteer also. Their services, we do have to coordinate all this. And it could just be driving somebody to pick up their groceries. It doesn't always have to be something that results in monetary savings. But that's what we shoot for. And it began with, we just knew that people weren't going to have help for fuel that year. And I think it's helped a lot of entities. Like I said, and the welfare department has turned back $50,000 last year. That's unheard of in other towns. We were overspending our budget by $50,000. So
And that was until the last couple of years or so?
yeah.
So this program of yours probably helps to keep the welfare budget under control to some
Absolutely.
extent too, I would think.
I think we all,
There's a lot of programs that
there's a
contribute to
synergy
that.
there between all the programs. I think we have an incredible amount of programs now that are finally working together. I know there was a big fear in the beginning, and that was at my very first meeting that we tried to establish this. We don't take any funds from any other organizations. I can feel for Mike trying to compete for the money that's out there, which is why we're trying not to use any money or any grants. I think, no, we're not taking away from anybody's piece of pie. The program's just not cutting into it. If anything, I think it's relieving some of the
Sure.
Right.
stress that has happened when the economy is going now on to 4 to 5 years of hard times. That's it.
Very good. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks.
And thank you for that program. It does a lot of good. All right. We have no non-public to consider this evening, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved by Bill and seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned.